What's up, everybody? My name is Andre Hopkins, also known as Entre Interview, and today I'm joined here by k0rupt, IGO for Rose. How are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you for asking.
All right, good to hear, good to hear. Always glad to hear that. So I'll just hop right into it here. So just tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been playing the game? How long have you been IGLing for?
Well, I'm Wiley. I use any pronouns. I've been playing Valorant since beta, I guess, but like competitively, somewhere around like episode 3, because I had started playing like competitively when I went to college. So I started playing through collegiate, and I was like a plat 3 Reyna one trick, and then like I started playing more from there. And then IGLing, I don't know. I was always like a very vocal player. Like I had mid-rounded in tier 3, and then like I just had gotten to the point where it was like, man, I think I just like the game more from my own perspective, and I have like pretty strong opinions. So I just kind of got more and more vocal to the point where it just made more sense for me to IGL, and I thought I could do better than most tier 3 IGLs. And so yeah, I just started calling from there. And then for GC, I've always been IGL, and then yeah, and then I just like built my own tier 3 team and made it to tier 2, and then yeah, I've been IGLing the entire time for that.
So for your last game this last week, you guys played Azure Dragon Gaming, excuse me. You guys beat him pretty handedly. I mean, how are you feeling after that big win?
Good, but I mean, yeah, we still got a lot to prove. Like every single game, taking it one at a time, just making sure we're doing our best for that specific game and matchup, and making sure we're staying on top of our stuff, and yeah, just really making it as easy as possible for ourselves. Like, I mean, yeah, Muddy really handled that that Azure Dragon game 17-2 FKFD. So I mean, yeah, he really put it all on the line and laid down the law there. So I'm really proud of him for that.
I watched the game, and I always check the VLR after I watch the games, and I saw that 17-2, and I was like, you never see someone go plus 15 on first kill, first death. That's just a pretty dominant outing. I was going to ask about him also. So with Muddy, he seems like a phenomenal Yoru, Waylay, and Neon player, which are all characters, if you play dual assist meta, you have to know how to play all 3 of them. How does having someone who can be so flexible and play all of them at such a high level help with making team comps and just making the game easier for everybody?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, versatility in team comp and like flexibility in individual roles on agents is like something that's always been really important to me. And Muddy kind of like, I mean, yeah, I mean, he just is willing to do like play whatever character that like we ask of him. So it's like, it's not really like, he's not like, oh, you know, I'm really not going to play that character like or something. It's that he just like he'll play whatever if he thinks it'll really help the team out and make the comp shine. And so yeah, I wouldn't say it's like too like heavy leaning one way or the other about which character he like needs to play. I mean, he's just down for whatever, and it makes it really easy to kind of pick and choose which comps we want to run or don't want to run. Yeah, that flexibility is super nice.
Are you a bigger fan of the Yoru Waylay or just a solo Waylay?
Depends on the map and comp. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Yoru, so I guess my aptitude leans towards that. He's just able to do so much individually and cover a lot of like role gaps. But I mean, Waylay is extremely overtuned, especially like the saturate. So to not use it is definitely, you know, you gotta have, yeah, it's a pretty confident decision you have to be making there about like what you're gonna give up in order to not run the Waylay and then choose something else. But yeah, we can make most things work, so I'm pretty confident when I make that choice.
Yeah, because the Waylay is just ridiculous. I mean, pretty much not like must play on every map, but like just good on every map. Saturate's really strong, ult's really good. I mean, just play the 2 best duelists in the game. That
100%.
definitely makes sense. So
Extremely viable.
yeah, just they're both super strong. So we don't know who you guys are going to play next, but is there anybody who you want to face in tier 1 or tier 2 who you're looking forward to?
Oh, tier 1? I don't know. I mean, we have a lot of like tier 1 scrims, and I mean, I enjoy playing those. But I mean, there's some teams we like don't really get to play. Like, I mean, honestly, like tier 1 teams, I like to play any of them, but I really like, oh man, like something like a really talented roster, like that's super highly sought after. I'd love to like play one of those. Just to see what happens. I think it'd be really fun, and like maybe the matchup would be closer than like the public I would like expect or something. But like, maybe like an NRG or MIBR, I think those would be just super fun to play in general with any extremely talented rosters. And then in tier 2, I guess there's not like anyone in particular I'm seeking out to play. I'm just we're taking the matches like 1 week at a time, but still having our sights set on some like higher end goals. But I mean, for tier 2, maybe like a core or MBG, just because we have like friends on those teams. Yeah, something like that. But I mean, there's also like these higher teams that would be also just really fun to play against, like SRB or M80 or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like, with the tier 1 versus tier 2, I think people like there's obviously, a tier gap between tier 1 and tier 2, but I think it's smaller than what a lot of people think there is. Like, I feel like a lot of time the top to mid table tier 2 teams could definitely punch up and beat a lower tier 1 team. No disrespect to like the tier 1 teams, but just there's always, that competitiveness, and I've always been taught my whole life by my family. Any given day somebody can beat somebody else. I mean, there's no telling what could happen. Like, if a team, like you said, an MIBR or an NRG played a tier 2 team any day, they could just lose. That's just how that works.
Yeah, I mean, if someone's having a bad day, I mean, anything can happen. But I mean, yeah, I think we're also seeing like a lot of that skill gap being lessened by like, I mean, when you see these like these large amounts of tier 2 players ascending into tier 1 and joining these tier 1 teams, it's definitely a good sign for the scene, I think.
And I think if you had someone like Muddy playing 17-2 against anybody, you could probably beat anybody.
Yeah, that kid he's different.
So, before the game, what is your pre-game ritual? What do you think you do before you get in the server?
I mean, me in particular, like, I mean, sometimes I don't have like too strict of a routine. Like, it's more like we can do like team talks or like getting in call early and making sure we have like the energy right for the day. Warming up, getting like motivational and like having heart-to-heart kind of stuff. But I mean, individually, I guess like outside of the server or talking to my team, like sometimes I'll do like I'll wake up earlier and go on like a run and making sure like I'm eating light because I don't like to like eat too much before on a match day. And then just I'll do like a cold shower and then just playing like Kovacs or something and listen to music and getting my headspace in the right environment, ready to win and dominate.
Just getting prepped. Yeah, you said getting the right frame of mind, get ready to play the game. All right, that makes sense. Just, I mean, yeah, because I feel like the best thing that you can do before a game is having the same kind of routine, or at least something similar you do every day, so that because you can always I can't think of the word for it, but just doing the same thing every day, get you in the right frame of mind.
Building consistency. Yeah,
of course. Thank you very much. That's what I was looking for, consistency. So every team's goal is to lift trophies, win games, but I want to ask about you personally as a player. What are your goals for this upcoming Challengers year?
I mean, we've actually had this talk as a team and individually with our coaching staff, but I mean, for me, I just want us to like leave it all on the line. Like, I want us to like play how we practice and show our like true form out there, and whatever that is, I can be happy with that. But as long as we like are putting our best foot forward out there, like that's what really matters to me. And I believe we can go really far and actually like beat or even like upset a lot of these the higher teams. And I think like, I mean, definitely goals is to go as far as possible. Like, I think if we really step it up and handle business out there, we could show up to like a LAN or make Ascension or whatever the case may be, or just at least like leave our mark on the season.
Okay, yeah, because I know for a lot of people, personal goals is like getting noticed by tier 1 teams, getting picked up. But I think that one also makes a lot of sense. Just trying to every week going out there and making sure you put your best out there. You don't want to leave anything. You want to put everything out there. Okay. So I've talked to a few people about the Breeze changes, but I wanted to ask you, against ADG, they played a no Viper comp on Breeze. Do you think Viper is still a must pick on that map, or do you think you can have a little bit more flexibility?
I think the power she brings in terms of like role versatility, like the lurking, the stopping power, global util, I think there's too many positives that won't be covered like by something like a Cypher. Like, I mean, just seeing the Cypher and Astra, I was like, we can just like bait their smokes really hard and they just didn't even smoke mid on their defense, I think, like maybe a single time even. So I think there's like just huge exploitable gaps like that you'll find in like a no Viper comp, like a single orb smoke controller. I think it's not like it's completely unviable, but I think yeah, if that Astra had been Viper, I think it would be a lot more intuitive, perhaps, for them to have played that map.
So is it just like the lurking ability makes it so strong, like just being able to like pressure areas without nobody being there?
I mean, I think a lot, honestly, in the current meta, like pretty much most comps can work if you have like a really strong game plan around it. But I mean, some things will just be lacking in core aspects that are necessary on a lot of maps, and I feel like the Cypher trade-off for them didn't feel really oppressive for us to play against whatsoever. I think it's also really hard to be running Cypher against, like, I mean, Breeze, still most people are still going to run Sova. A lot of people are going to have a Yoru, even like Waylay Yoru, and it's like those two duelists aren't really going to get capsized by a Cypher too often on the exec, especially if Sova's shocking for the trips. So yeah, it's just a little difficult, I think, or hard to reason a Cypher.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Just the ability of the Viper versus the Cypher, that whole map util control and being able to break the shocks. And you can't, obviously you can't break Viper util. So
yeah, Viper's gonna have a lot more stopping power and just versatility in the round, like debate out util and then to retake also with the utility.
Okay, yeah. Because, just when I saw the no Viper comp, I was kind of just like, I feel like every time I've seen somebody play Breeze, they play it. Or like, there were some teams, I'm pretty sure if I'm remembering correctly, NRG played a no Viper comp. I could be wrong on when they played it against, I can't remember exactly, but I think some other teams.
NRG was Yoru Neon Astra Viper. So
okay, so yeah, they did play the Viper. Okay, I couldn't remember exactly if they did, but yeah, I just saw that no Viper comp and I was a bit like, I feel like you probably, like you said, you probably can play it. This is a very open meta. Do you think? I wanted to ask, do you think this meta is the most open, like including the last meta pre-initiator nerfs? Do you think this is the most flexible meta in terms of character picks, team compositions?
I think if you're looking at like the entire map pool at once, that you can see a lot of different agents, but I think each map has its like own more specific meta that'll get a lot narrower as like the season progresses, with like certain agents just being almost necessary because of like everything else being around on the map. So it's just like it's kind of opportunity cost, and then also like what your team can actually like play at a high level. So like, while it does seem like the meta is pretty like wide in terms of what you can actually get away with, I do think there are certain agents on certain maps that are pretty much necessitated, and it's like you'd kind of be missing out on a lot of value if you didn't run them.
Okay. Do you think with the amount of way they were seeing, you could see an uptick in like characters to counter that, like a KO to stop the XX?
Yeah, I think but KO's strong. It's also like it kind of depends on back to the map. Like if people are gonna run double duelists, you might want to bring your own double init to try to like parse out the duelists on the map, like during your like attack or finding out what they're doing on your own defense. But I think it's more likely, I feel like, that teams lean into their own strengths rather than trying to like worry about countering what everyone else is running. So like, I mean, if people are going to run their own solo Waylay comps and they want a KO to pocket the Waylay, then they'll do that. But I mean, if they don't, they don't. It's also like, it also kind of is just easier to run a Yoru over a KO, and KO has a 60-second cooldown on his main piece of information, but Yoru can just start walking down every lane twice with his TPs. So it really just depends what your team is good at, I think. But Yoru is going to be easier probably.
Earlier when I talked to Elevated, he talked about how the difference between playing Yoru Waylay and KO Waylay is having a really good KO player on your team. Somebody like when NRG ran it, they ran a lot of time Ethan on KO. Do you think that's true? You just need a very talented KO player?
I mean, it depends on the map and your like ideology behind it still. Like, but I mean, I think the skill gap between like a lot of teams, it's like, if you have a comp that you have a good game plan behind and your players are all like really capable of playing any of the characters. Honestly, I think defaulting to Yoru would be easier, but depending on the map, like KO could have a higher skill ceiling and more potential to like dominate. I think seeing things like NRG running the KO on k0rupt, like they're obviously very dominant, and that's kind of their shtick. So they should stick to stuff like that if that's what they're gonna show and be dominant on.
All right, yeah, definitely makes sense. So a lot of it just comes down to map dependency and team ideology.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any words you want to give to anybody learning about your team or you for the first time?
I don't know. I think we're definitely like a little bit of a sleeper pick team. I think we have. I mean, we're a super dedicated team, long-standing core, and we have like a lot of talent. Especially like, I mean, we've shown this last week with like Muddy. I mean, he's an incredible player. I mean, he's easily the most like mechanically talented player I've ever personally played with. So I think just keep an eye on us and see what we can do this challenge season. Because I mean, yeah, and Rose is super awesome org, and we're very happy to be representing them.
All right, cool. Do you have any socials you want to plug before we end this?
I guess just my Twitter at k0rupt_val on Twitter.
All right, cool. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.